Welcome, hear ye, hear ye. Welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Camilla.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm very excited to be here today, folks, because
Yeah,
I've been
me
looking
too.
forward to doing this list for a while, and we postponed it because of America.
Yeah, America.
America.
That's-
Wait, what? Well, oh,
American
right, okay,
people.
America.
Am I wrong?
No, that's true, that's true.
Congratulations.
Do you want us to just say
Yes.
postpone for you?
Yes,
Does that
I
make you feel
know.
better?
No, it's not official yet. Still has to be the whole ceremony thing, but it's official. Yeah.
Like,
Forget you,
never
Australia.
mind.
Yes, I know. It's funny how it's like they don't. She was told like we don't recognize dual citizenship, but does she have to get rid of her old one? No. So she'll have it. Yeah.
Joey's wife is getting American citizenship. So
Yes.
this is exciting.
From Australia, so it's kind of like America Light.
They did this. Wow. Wow.
Offended a lot of
You're
people.
better off saying
Yeah.
Australia sucks than saying that. All right, we want to start off with a couple. First of all, I want to say thank you to some of our Kickstarter backers, to Bradley Warby, to Milkomarowski,
Is that one word?
Kramarch.
Oh, he wasn't.
Kramark. Sorry, Kramark.
Well,
Milkomarowski, Kramarch.
Kramark.
Milkomarowski, Kramark.
Did they put it phonetically on there?
100%.
Did they really? Is there a pronunciation guide? I love it.
Okay.
That's
I love
great.
that guy.
To Josh Franklin, to
Hey.
Mr. Millstream, who said he says his real name, but he was not going to make me mispronounce it. Good,
Oh,
because
that's
he's
very
a
nice.
check mark
A
in his
check
name.
mark,
I don't know how to do that. The Cook family, to Corey Bourgeois. I'm noticing a lot of pronunciation.
Yeah.
They know you.
Who is this for?
You.
And to Amy
clearly.
Gilmore. Thank you all for supporting the Dice Tower.
Thank
Oh, Josh
you.
Franklin is in chat.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Ooh.
And Mr. Millstream, both of them.
Also, if you like this, and you wonder why is Joey at Dice Tower, other than his good looks and personality, he is always putting up videos on our sister channel, Dice Tower Encore.
Yes, I am.
Chopping up our little,
Rapid fire roundups.
yes, and then posting them there. So if you want to see short videos, go subscribe to that. You get one video a day, right?
Yes, at least. Which makes it good because like
least.
be-
Wait, at least? What?
One or
Sometimes-
two.
yeah, one or two. At least one. Sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta start doubling up. But it's a great like library if you're looking for something and you can just it's a plethora of stuff on there.
Oh,
which is
very
really nice.
Very nice.
All right. Okay, so adventure games. So we were here 17 years ago and did, it feels like that.
Feels like it.
Our top 10 dungeon crawls.
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Which yes.
And then when you weren't here,
I know, I saw that.
we did our top 10 boss battlers.
Yep.
Which I was confused. You're like, okay, we got to make sure it's not mentioned on this one, and the boss battler, and I'm like, well, technically,
Right.
I wasn't in the boss battler,
Right, you can do those, right?
but I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I
Why?
mean, I don't think
totally
I
would
did.
have.
I may
This
maybe
was definitely
lying.
going to be one where I would have been like, it's okay, you do so, and then criticized you during the list.
Exactly. That's what I
No.
was not waiting for. It's
been on your list.
I'm like, look how easy it was for you.
But here's the thing.
Fine.
Definitely you'll be like, what about this? It's probably on one of those two lists.
Right.
Right.
Because these genres are all jumbled up.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest one for that, for me, I mean, just as an example here, is like Oathsworn, which has an amazing adventure. The whole first part of the game, that's what instantly came to mind. But it's also a very unique boss battler, and that was on the boss battler for me, so I couldn't use it on this list.
And your boss battler one, you used to have some on there. I'm like, why would you stick on the boss battler?
Well, because the rule that we couldn't use it on adventure wasn't made until after the boss battle.
I know. I'm like,
That's why.
I mean, you took. It's
This rule was
wow.
made about a week ago.
You're welcome to throw in anything you want.
I
during
can't
this.
already make the list.
No, but I mean, you're welcome to name drop. You just name dropped Oathsworn.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Well, I don't have the list
Primal
in
would be
front
on
of me
this
now.
list.
I don't have the list in front of
kidding.
me.
No. I think we're going to have some crossover here, but there is a lot. And there's a lot of games that I was like, that's kind of adventure. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put them on here. I don't care. These are
Wait.
adventure to me.
I think of the three categories, this is the most open one, because adventure can be anything from like choose your own adventure to like does it have narrative
Oh,
choices
what?
to
Didn't even think of that.
what?
That's a good.
I forgot about the choose your own
I
adventure.
did
but-
too.
Okay.
I will say when I started, I thought just fantasy, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, adventure. So I was really branching out.
Right, I mean anything that has that narrative driven or choice driven to me was considered.
I
did
agree.
not
Mine are
think-
fantasy or not. You know, there's some that aren't.
I did not think of choose your own adventure. Let me change my list.
Really?
Too late.
All right,
It's
fine.
locked and loaded.
Oh,
I have
man.
never once changed my list, so you can.
Mid-show? Oh.
Don
Okay.
wants to know why you can't choose a game twice. Because Tom said so.
Because I like having
A week
different
ago.
lists.
We don't question things here at the Dice Tower when they come down from above.
We just say,
I want to be clear
Yes,
that they
sir.
question everything that comes
We
down
do.
from above. I don't know what we're talking about.
We don't question things on camera when it comes down from above. Yeah.
These are good games.
These
Also,
are
check
great
out the
games.
Dungeon Crawlers. You get 20 games.
That's a good reason to not do it, so they'll have more games to choose from. You do think things through. I like that.
You know, let's get started. This is nonsensical.
Okay, this one I guarantee, this is probably not a crossover for anybody. I don't think you've played it. I know you've played it. And I think you're fine on it. But you know what? I am starting off the adventure games list with a game with a similar name. This is The Adventurers. Pyramid of Horus.
Oh, wait.
I know you like the other one, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, they're both good, but the other one's better. But
Okay.
okay.
This one's an adventure game where you're actually going through a temple, and it's a push your luck style because you see those little blocks or whatever that fall as you're out there getting treasure and things. There's also mummies or pharaohs going on the outside, but the big thing is those little things start to fall. You start grabbing them and look at the numbers, and they fall different places in the temple. They could fall on you, but the bigger, which is great. But the bigger thing is they can fall and block you in, so you are forever in the temple. And it makes it really fun when you grab something and then you go out and you watch the guy get greedy. He's in there just grabbing more and more, and you're just hoping he's just going to get locked in there till the end of time. I mean, it's a really fun, it's a light game. It challenges Vasel's law about whole good games getting reprinted, because this has not been
I
reprinted
like how you
yet.
changed mine from great to good, but
This okay, great games.
what's the other one? You said there's another one?
There's
Emperor is the Temple of Shock.
that's
Okay,
got
I
the
don't know
ball that rolls
That
down.
one is in the library. So in that one, you are running. There's a boulder chasing you.
Yeah.
Then there's walls closing in. Then you run across lava, and then you run across a moat, a bridge that's falling over, and then there's idols and treasure grabbing along the way. It's really fun. It's a great. Kids will like it. I know
And Joey.
I know that it's
And me.
being reprinted at some point. I don't
That
think
one or
this
this
one
one?
is.
Oh.
Although I keep telling people who reprint this to make it modulars and put them all together. This one is good because those blocks falling, you don't know where they're going to fall. Although I have seen a game where the blocks fell in the entrance and everyone was dead in like
I
5
have
minutes.
seen that too. And it's like, well, we're in here.
We can all fight off the mummies together,
was
right?
good.
That's true.
You
Buried
can
with
set,
But
try
see,
again.
in every good adventure movie, there's some bad guy that's buried with the treasure at the end.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
watching the Brandon Fraser Mummy, same thing. He's buried the treasure, and you're like,
Spoilers.
you
but
get to
okay.
keep it. What's the old one? You've had 20 years to watch it.
Also, that's one of my favorite satisfaction moments. I'm like, yes.
good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you get caught in there?
Yeah, that's a great one. So this one is a great adventurers. Either one, really. They're both great.
My number 10 is my cozy adventure game, and we just talked about it in my top 100. I know you don't love it, but I do. This is Lands of Galzir.
Oh, no.
Oh, what do you
It was on my
like?
short list.
Oh, okay. I really enjoy Lands of Galzir just for the cozy nature, just for the fact that the board is constantly changing as you play. Not constantly changing, as over the course of multiple games it's going to change, go through different seasons, different locations, and events will be added to it. But because as you level your character up or you evolve your character, it's more, I think, Joey, you said at the top 100, it's like a sidestep for the character.
Right.
You go down in one stat to go up in another, but you still have the same level of all the stats. You don't necessarily get stronger, you just change your focus of your character, which means anyone can jump in with any character at any time.
That's true.
And I really like that. So it's changing and it's evolving as it goes through the seasons and the quests that are available and the different equipment that you're going to get. But that equipment is going to time out, which again kind of keeps the characters this level so it's doesn't feel like a campaign game. It evolves like a campaign game. The world grows like a campaign game, but it's not a campaign where at the end there's a hard cutoff or there's some ultimate goal or some big boss battle to it or anything. It's just an adventuring game where you're going out and getting quests and completing them and kind of specializing your character in one thing or another to fit your needs. So,
which is why it didn't make my list, just because it doesn't have as much tension as some of the other ones.
It doesn't.
That's
Like I
all.
said, I definitely call it the cozy one.
It is.
You know? Yeah.
Very light. And this was on my short list too. But again, the side progression is odd for me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
different.
odd. I think you say odd. I think it's for me. It's very unique, and it stands out because of that. Which is there's a specific situation I'd bring into.
I struggle with it only because I like to start games. I don't care what level I'm starting at, but at the end I would like to be a small god.
Well, you do get,
I agree.
but you do get the really cool companions and the really cool artifacts and
That's
and
true.
things like that.
You do
So
get better.
Feel in that play you get better. It's just not over the long course of game to game you don't get better like you would in a campaign.
I like how odd and unique you just like. That's pretty good. It's very interchangeable. You are a unique person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet that's taken me a lot. Is that good?
I guess.
So I have a couple brand new games on my list. Just two, I think, on the top 10. This is one of them. This is the newest game. It's hot.
Wow.
And this is Slay the Spire.
I thought about this one.
So to me, there's definitely a lot of combat, but this one feels like an adventure because, unlike in the video game, it's like a straight progression. You could almost argue this is a dungeon crawler, sort of. Maybe it is, but you know what? I didn't put it on dungeon crawler
You
list.
hadn't played at that time, right?
I don't remember.
I think it's that.
We already established it was 12 years ago when we did the dungeon crawl.
Therefore, you would not have had played.
Maybe 6 weeks. But anyway, this game just feels like an adventure where you're going together and you have very unique, different styles, and you're moving up to fight a boss, and then you move up to fight another boss. But in between a boss, you're fighting tons of small creatures, so it's not a boss battler. This one, I wrote it, and then I was like, no. And I was like, yes. No.
That's where
okay,
I
it's
was.
number 10.
Yeah.
So that was where I came on that one. It got me to play the video game more, but as I played the video game more, I am realizing how different the board game is. This one is certainly a popular game. We put it on Hot Games at
So
Dice Tower
good.
East. It was played at the Bash multiple times, at BGG Spring. But I'm having a lot of fun with this one, and I think this might be one of those games that sticks around.
Have you played it up to, because it goes up to 4, right?
Yes, I have played it before. It's fun.
Yeah, you like it at 4.
It works well at 4 because the more
Okay,
people
nice.
you have
Well,
to jump around.
I will always pick 3 for these kind of games,
Right.
just because 3 just works well. I don't know why.
It keeps it a little snappier.
Yes.
It keeps the gameplay's a little smoother.
This is the one the retail I think is not as good as deluxe, but it's still fine. You just miss those player.
Yeah,
points
you
and coins.
don't need the deluxe.
No, but this surprised
Do
me.
you have the deluxe?
Of course, obviously.
So you
he
need the
does.
deluxe. You don't need the deluxe, but this man,
I didn't get the deluxe, and I regret it.
well, you're trash.
That's my number 10.
Oh, okay, all right. So my number 9, I was very enthralled. I was really into that animation
I'm
for
definitely
some
finding
reason.
myself watching them more now because the top 100, it's all the cute bits, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like,
my God,
wow,
it's
that was
ours.
very
Hold on.
soothing. I liked that a lot. All right, so my number 9 is probably the quintessential one. It's probably going to be a crossover. It's lower on the list because it doesn't hit the table as much, but this is Gloomhaven. And I have not played Frosthaven yet. So this one, of course, is the adventure game. I love the quests on it, the side quests when you start going, running from town to town. I like the battle mechanic, the top and bottom of the cards. What I don't like is the length that it takes to get to the table. But when it is on the table, it's an enjoyable time. So and I think, again, it's one of those things that if you're invested in it, this is one that will take you through. I think the story is adequate. It's fun. It's fine. It's good. But again, so this is one that you both are being very quiet about. But this
Because
is
you're wrong.
that it's not great.
Well, no.
it's not a crossover.
First of all, this was on my dungeon crawl list,
Yeah.
which you were in.
It was on, yeah.
Second,
So it's not on
this
mine.
is straight up a dungeon crawl.
Wasn't on mine.
The in-between stuff
I
is
like the
barely
in-between.
there in this game. I
It's a
like it
good
too.
story.
It's like a card.
I think the in-between stuff makes this game.
There's way more in-between stuff in Frosthaven. I think you would like Frosthaven better than
I probably would, because see, if I go to Dungeon Crawl, I would not grab this one.
Really, but if you want an adventure game, you'd pull this.
I don't think I'd pull it, no.
Oh.
If it's set
Why?
up, I'd play it for
You
an
were
adventure game.
There's lots of different ways you're wrong here, other than it is a good game.
You know what?
It is, yes.
Fine.
I think
adventure in this.
I think I had Jaws the Lion on my dungeon crawler, so it's not on
Fine.
mine either.
All right, fine.
Was it on your dungeon crawler?
Loopy
Not
points out the
yours,
Slay
I'm
Spiders No Story. I completely understand that.
Good point. Yeah.
You're supposed to think of these things.
I was.
If it's not said here in the room, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count. No, Chad doesn't count.
Loopy's on my side. All right, good.
All right, my number 9 is an older game, the oldest one on my list, I do believe. But it is a new to me, like in the last 2 years, I've discovered this, and this is Legends of Andor. I really like this as an adventure game because it's a replayable adventure. Each box comes with a couple different adventures, but the more you play those adventures, because they are replayable and you will need to replay them, they become more of a puzzle. So you really get the story the first time you go through it, and then from then on, each play, you're just trying to strategize and puzzling together how to be successful in this adventure. And so I really think that's a unique take where it starts very story heavy in the beginning. The first time you go through, this sense of discovery leads into strategy and puzzling as you explore it further and further. So.
Yeah, I don't love this one as much. I mean, I think it's good. This one feels more like a puzzle than an adventure. It's like a...
It is, yeah. It definitely becomes that.
We're solving it.
But I mean, the first time, though, you have the cards and the events that are triggered, and it gives a whole story. Some will be 2 or 3 cards long that you're reading through, and as it's unfolding, your different objectives. You know, your objectives are coming directly from the story, and so because of that. But it is rather than a choose your own. You know, hey, do you want A or B? It's more like this is now your new goal. Go find and make it happen. Did you make it happen or not before the next trigger? Then something else will trigger and happen as well.
By the way, the kids' version of this is really good.
The kids is
that one just called Andor?
fantastic.
Is that what that was called?
Maybe.
Yeah.
The kids is called Andor.
So.
But yeah, no, the
Kids of
kids
Andor.
is wonderful with the little foxes, and they have to go try.
I actually like the kids' one better than this one.
I've really been enjoying the Eternal Frost. I think, but that's a setting that I
I've not
very
played
much
that.
like. It's not as just generic fantasy. It doesn't feel like it has the cool lake that freezes over and things like that. So some neat mechanisms in it.
Yeah.
My number 9 will not be a crossover because I feel like I'm one of 5 people who've played this game. Maybe not, but so there's a series of games called, well, adventure games. So I'm putting the first one and the best one, the Dungeon, on this list.
Interesting.
So this is actually, it is so generic.
You're selling me.
Yep.
Keep going.
Please tell me more.
It is a cooperative point-and-click adventure, essentially. You'll find cards and you'll get like a key in there and you get a door and you'll be like, does this key work? It does. That's great. But the story got me, and it had such a grandiose, bombastic ending that me and the kids were just so enthralled by it.
Really?
It was really fun.
So it's a puzzle, though.
No.
Okay, because I haven't played these.
I mean, yes, but it's like the point and click, but it's thematic. Like you're like at the very beginning, for example, you're in a cell. You have to escape, like you do in every adventure game.
Yep.
Right.
And there's a hole, and you
Fantasy,
can you can just be like, I'll stick my hand in the hole. Now, should you or not?
Yes.
You know.
No.
Well, you don't know.
Oh,
And I'm not going to tell you.
I would never stick my hand in a hole.
But I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
You shouldn't stick your hand in the
I mean,
hole.
I should not.
You shouldn't.
Got it. Got it. Understood, Captain.
But it starts off with that, but then you go to different places, and you'll find something in this place, and you go, thematically, it makes sense to use this over here, and you go over. It's just like those old point-and-click adventures, and I liked it a lot.
Okay, interesting.
And I like it, and again, yes, you could argue it's a puzzle game, but to me, it all made sense, and the kids were really getting into it. And it's a little more linear, but there's a few divergent paths, and there's definitely good endings and bad endings, and we got the best ending, which is rare, because usually I discover the worst ending in games.
It's still
put
like
your
in the
hand in
hour
the hole.
time frame of the unlock and exits?
No, it's longer, but you can pause. You just be like, we'll come back and keep playing later.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, the adventure games only get worse from this point.
The first one that
Okay.
came out.
This is the first one.
Wow.
Then the second one was like in an insane asylum, which was, I think it was, or no, like Umbrella Corporation, that sort of
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
That one was fine, and then the third one was worse, and then the fourth one I gave up halfway through. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gee, that's
Wow.
unfortunate.
It's going the wrong direction.
oh, Cantaloupe. Yeah, Cantaloupe is another one that
Thought
could have been
about
on
that
this
one.
list, but this is the one I put on.
Yeah. All right.
You're really jiving with the music.
I am. I'm liking music. I've been like music deprived recently. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's too bad that we don't have a phone to turn on music with.
Right.
That's true. I don't
Or
have that
radio.
song.
You drove 2.5 hours in.
I say, imagine if you
I
had a
do
2.5
podcasts.
hour drive each hour.
I do
each
podcasts
week.
and YouTube videos. I watch the YouTube, Tom.
Oh, while you're driving? You mean you listen?
I listen to the
Too late.
YouTube.
Call the police.
I almost ran over a gator today. That was pretty fun.
We saw a gator in the road?
Yeah, I was walking down the middle, and I had to swerve
Like
and everything.
towards you or crossing the road?
He was crossing. He was big. I'm like, like for an hour, I'm thinking, how much damage would he have done to me? You know, I think I would have won, obviously,
Oh,
but
yeah. I
still,
think
that
he
would have hurt.
survived. He wouldn't. but
Right?
Still.
I've never seen a gator in the road. I'm a little jealous. I would have stopped and taken a picture.
Not an alligator alley.
I didn't say I was going to get out of the car.
Oh, okay. I did think about grabbing it, but I was watching a YouTube video at the time. So
Kudos
lots
for
of stuff
seeing it,
happened this
yeah.
morning. So this one I know is not a crossover with you because you hate it and you have not played it. This is very old school D&D art. This has a great
I hate this
story.
game so
I
much.
think I like this game. Many people do not. And Tom hates
Many people
it.
do. It sold very well.
This is Escape the Dark Castle. Escape the Dark Castle is
love
pretty
this
much
game.
is my end of the night game where you bring it out and you just put a stack of cards and you flip them and then you read and you do die rolls to beat each person as they go through. And at the end, how you die, if you die, there's a death book that you go and you get to read.
A gruesome death matrix?
Yes, I think you would like it. And you get to read
that.
how you died. This is a very RPG story-driven dice chucker.
Tell me about the cohesiveness of the story.
There is no cohesiveness.
There doesn't have to
And the more expansions
That's
you
the
add,
fun.
the more just crazy it gets. And it's brutally unbalanced. They do
Okay.
it.
I'll make you a deal.
You'll play it with me?
We'll do it for a catch-a-palooza sometime.
Oh, and you will be in it
that'll
though,
be
right?
amazing.
Yeah, I'll be in it.
Okay,
You'll
good.
do it.
Good.
I'll
You
be in
didn't
it.
know.
Why not?
Big sacrifice.
I'm excited.
Or can we do the space one?
No, why would you go to space?
Okay.
You're good-
All right, sorry.
Space one's a better game. This
Super
one's a better
lame.
theme.
All right.
So there's less mitigation on this. This one is brutally. You can lose again in the third card, and you're like, but you get to run it back because you're like, it's 20.
I'm never
30
going to like
minutes.
the art of this game, though.
Really?
I hate it. I hate it.
It looks like those old. It looks like the old stuff that I was not allowed to
Yeah.
buy as a kid.
That's true.
You know?
It really does.
It feels nostalgic for something I don't have nostalgia for. so
Right,
it makes
that's
me
how
feel
I am.
nostalgic, even though I don't have nostalgia. It's a
Yes.
very weird thing. where
This
I'm
is
like,
filling
yeah,
a gap
driving.
in for me of my life.
Well, Z says he's in.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Wait, I just got kicked out then, right?
I'm
No, no,
excited.
we can play with
Plays
four.
All right, done.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's 4, no more.
Just don't expect a lot of like game. All right. I want to lower the expectations of this, everyone.
I do not.
Good. Okay. Okay. This is just enjoyable. Yeah. So okay. This is Escape the Dark Castle.
Very nice. I have a couple on here that are actual. I think I immediately think of them as survival games. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, surviving is an adventure.
I agree.
So Robinson
dark.
Crusoe, Adventure of the Cursed Island.
This was on my
my
list
really-
last time I did the top adventure games.
Okay, and for me, this just sells on the adventure because of the events that come up. As you go out and you are gathering, you have an event card that you might have to read if the dice rolls that way, and you have some sort of encounter. A lot of times those encounters have a choice you have to make. And depending on the choice you make, you might shuffle that card into your general.
Why has that not been
adventure.
stolen by other games and stuck in them? It's such a great
I
mechanism.
know, it is so fantastic. It is one of my absolute favorite things. And
really like that.
Because it might come back to hurt you later. It's like, wow, you have this little bit of boon right now, and do you want to put it in your main adventure deck, and later those
you played
tigers
this?
will come
I have
back.
not.
It is so good.
Well, we're
So
getting the
good.
deluxe version.
Oh,
But
we are?
I've seen pictures of
Yeah.
that. That looks nice.
like you'll get it'll be like, here's a piece of food you've never seen. You'll be like, I'll eat it. Stick this card in the deck. Later on,
Yeah,
comes back to haunt you.
3 rounds later, you
You're
get,
poisoned. Like,
poison.
why?
Yeah.
Oh, that's now. I heard this is really hard to win.
Yes, but the first scenario, which is just survive and build a fire, should
Yeah.
be an introductory scenario. It's one of the hardest scenarios, which would have been nice to
Yeah.
have known.
Yeah,
I've
it is
beaten the
hard.
game on other scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seventh Continent did the same thing.
I've beaten that first scenario once, and I think I probably have 30 plays of it.
really?
Now, the other ones I have a much higher success rate.
There's one
you
with
know,
King Kong.
But, yeah.
There's
in.
one with cannibals.
Yep. There's a whole horror box of scenarios where it brings in like zombies and that kind of stuff. There's another
I
one
like that.
where someone's stranded. Oh, Jenny. Oh, I hate Jenny. She's stranded on an island, and you have to go
I've
get
played
her.
that one. I don't hate Jenny as much as
Oh,
you
I
do.
hate Jenny because once you save her, you're like, yay, I did it. And then she's like, oh, I'm just going to sit back and do absolutely nothing, but you have to feed me. And I'm like, Jenny, you should have rotted on that island. I hate that scenario so much.
Oh my
I would
goodness.
much rather build the fire than save Jenny. I'm so sick of her.
I'm here for you, Jenny.
What about the dog? You like the dog? The dog is
The
amazing.
dog is fun. I almost always use the dog as well because it does mitigate that difficultness. So the dog has 2 specific actions it can companion with just to give you little extra boons. And so I almost always
Is it
take
Jenny's
that.
dog?
No, Jenny's on the island.
Oh.
They also made a telescope promo. It's like a cardboard telescope that can give you a bonus, but then you have to rip it in half physically.
Yeah.
Really?
And so it's like, yeah, done.
Yes.
So
Also, I've done that live on camera, and then we died.
yeah, so I love the stories that come of this, the choices of are you going to take this boon, are you going to have it come back and haunt you, or sometimes you'll turn it over. It's like you hear a rustling in the bush, and there is no choice. It's like just add this to the pile, and later on you're like, oh, that was a tiger that now raided the camp, and just crazy
Yes, I
stories that
love
come
that
around,
stuff.
and it just really
that sounds
changes the path. You have all this methodical planning just to still be at a whim of the events that come up. So.
Which is still, I maintain, why the sequel did not do very well.
Frostpunk?
No, the Mars one that he made.
First Martians.
Yeah, First Martians, which has no,
Oh.
by the way, aliens in it. So it's all stuff like, an air pipe broke, go fix it, and it's like, oh, it's just not as exciting. I mean, it's scientifically accurate, yay, but also that impenetrable rulebook, as does Robinson Crusoe, but hopefully the new one's good. So we'll see.
Yeah, I want to do the playthrough where it teaches you. It's like a series of 5 games, like Gloomhaven Jaws the Lion, that it teaches you the game.
Training wheels?
I really
I like
want to go
training
through
wheels.
that. Yeah.
All right. My number 8 is one that both of you I don't think have played, although you should play it at some point. Although I would wait till the 3rd edition comes out, which is coming out this year. And this is Duel of Ages 2. So Duel of Ages, which has amazing art. I know I was just criticizing the art in your game.
Wow.
That's
Forgive me.
Oh.
Okay, but
Woo!
I know.
the cover's
Did not
better,
see that coming.
unfortunately.
You did not see that coming, but that is what the game looks like. And I don't know why. I just love this game because what it does is it's a 1 versus 1 or team versus team, and you have a bunch of characters who are from all periods of time in history. Like you have Wild Bill Hickok and Billy the Kid and a
I like
robot
that.
assassin.
Sherlock. Oh,
And yeah, all kinds. I mean, futures. There's 4 time frames. So there's future space people in that, and then you just find stuff. So you'll have Genghis Khan with a chainsaw and Billy the Kid with a laser rifle, and you go around and fight the other people, but you also go and do missions. So your mission might be like, it's time to go bowling. You're like, I'm sending Genghis Khan. So
This
it's
sounds
crazy.
glorious.
It's definitely a game you would like. I've been holding off showing it to you because again, I'll wait to the third
the 3rd
edition.
edition. Is it going to have new artwork?
Yes.
Will be prototype boards like this? Or
Yes.
will
It does not look fantastic.
I assume it's a print and
What?
play.
It is not.
Are you sure this is not the prototype?
But I love this game because I love the anachronistic. You don't know what you're going to find. Like, I'm
That's so
this
funny.
space alien, and I have this club, and now I'm on a skateboard. And you have this
This is
future
fantastic.
alien, and he's driving a chariot. It's so stupid.
It's so funny because you're very hot and cold on anachronistic stuff. Like if you like it or don't like it in games. I can't nail down.
I like it when it's supposed to be anachronistic, if that makes sense. Like, I like it when the whole game is anachronistic.
Okay, not
What
when
I
it's
don't
that
like is a
character.
Western game, and then Will Wheaton shows up and goes, "You!" And I'm like, wait, why is
Got
he
it.
here?
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
You
Okay,
hate
got it, got it.
cameos.
Yes.
Yeah,
But I
okay.
like, what's the movie, Time Bandits and stuff like
Okay,
that.
got
I
it.
think that
Yeah.
stuff's great
So it's
fun.
supposed to be a conglomerate, kind of confusing timeline.
Bill
but
and
not
Ted's
like,
Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, that. So if it's made to be anachronistic, I'm all in. But if I'm playing a colonial war and then you bring in Godzilla, I'm like, wait, what is going on here?
Except for the Blitzkrieg expansion.
That's
Agree?
different, though, because that actually does make sense. That Godzilla. Did you not see Godzilla -1? I know you
did.
did.
Yes,
Because it's on Netflix this week. Netflix, sponsor us. We'll push you easy.
Yeah. This sounds fantastic, by the way. Oh, come on. It's big
I like color. Why?
But it's Godzilla. You should have watched it
But
in
why
black and
would
white.
taking the color out make it?
Wait, it's the same movie? Just
It's the
they
same movie
wash
in
it out?
Black and white. It's called Godzilla minus color.
I like watching colorized
Why?
old movies.
Why would they do that?
Because it's, you know what? Fine. Uncultured people here at the Dice Tower.
Why would you go back in time?
Speaking of culture, this is based in a book, which is had a TV show based on this. This one surprised me how much I enjoy this. I think because the battle mechanic is great, the story is great, and this is Witcher Old World. Witcher Old World is one of the, it has like the battle mechanic on this is like the whole, you play cards and they start to tag on other colors. So it's deck building, but you build your deck in a unique way. And the miniatures are great, by the way.
I've never heard of this.
Now, gosh.
He's asked me to play this so many times.
Right.
All right, when I play Duel of Ages, you will play this. You've got to try
I'm not
it.
making any kind of deal.
I even brought it to you. Yeah.
He definitely did.
He's going to play this eventually. Lock him in a room. This one, it's fun because you also have to get in the mind of your Witcher. So when you pick up these certain things and you like me might be finding this kid who's been picked up and kidnapped, and he goes by and you're like, you could intervene or you could not. Now, common sense will tell you to intervene, but if it doesn't fit your character...
I don't know, have you met her? That's when it's easy to die on the island.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you find out that kid is
son.
Jenny. Yeah, so
Oh, this is also on Netflix.
The Witch? Yes, it is.
We'll take that sponsorship.
Listen to us. No, but this one is great. I love the side stories. I love the theme on this. Also, I love the fact that you don't have to fight other Witchers, and when you do, it's not terrible to lose. There's almost a benefit.
So it's competitive.
It's yeah.
Got it.
It is
Okay.
competitive, but
Okay.
you don't have to. You can go after monsters more than the other Witchers.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So
I just don't love this world. I haven't been able to get into it. I watched part of the show and I was like,
You don't like the show?
I died off on the show pretty quick too. I
Who
died off
are
after
you
like
people?
4
Have you seen it in black and
episodes.
white?
I like the singing guy.
The Bard.
Charles
He is
Witcher,
really good.
I like that.
Yeah, I
Really? He
agree.
just got away.
You know what it was?
I
He
don't
was
like
fine.
him.
I didn't like that other. I didn't like that witch woman.
Oh, I agree
My
with that.
stomach is
But Henry
rumbling.
Cavill is why I watch it.
Oh, you talking about Yennefer or whatever?
Yeah, Yennefer. I didn't like her.
I didn't like the name.
She was. Also, you're like, it's the J.
Jennifer.
Yeah,
Just
right,
pronounce
right,
it
right.
Jennifer. Oh my goodness. And then
Yeah,
of
no,
course.
I definitely fell off pretty quick on that.
Yeah. This is a great one. It's a great adaptation. I haven't read the book, so I don't know how close it is, but it's great.
All right. What are we on? My number 7 is one that I specifically am referencing one mode of play, the story mode of that. And this is going to be Now or Never. Because Now or Never has the 2 modes of play. You can just play the individual game, which it becomes more almost Euro mechanism as you're going around. You have like
For
little
sure.
quest and just a card to complete, which gives you a little bit of flavor text and that's it. But if you play the story mode, these locations as you're traveling through this world are going to have triggers for your personal story and your character story. Each character has their own book. And so if you go to location K, for example, you'll open up your storybook and somebody else has to read it for you. They read you a paragraph and then you make a choice on that. You might have to have a skill check, which is going to level your character up, which is going to give you different items, which is going to further a quest, which is going to give you more insight into your character's background and what they want in the future. And it's just a really neat way to take this Euro game that I learned it that way and then went to story mode second, and it really just opened the doors for it and made it feel like an adventure that I was
Without
excited to learn
spoiling
more
it, is
about
this
it.
your favorite of the 3?
Yes.
Yeah, my favorite is Above and Below, and none of the 3. I know people are going to go crazy. It made my list because I didn't think the stories were strong enough to make the list. But I very much considered them all.
Right, and that this one made it specifically because of that story mode where it is. I mean, it still has the combat, it still has the goals and the leveling up and that kind of stuff that you're trying to do, but the story is much more stronger for tied to your specific character, and for that, I think it really is an adventure game. But yeah, I'm with you. For me, it's Now or Never, Above and Below, and then Near and Far is the lowest for me.
It's completely an adventure game.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's, we're opposite. I like them in the reverse order.
I thought you just said Above and Below.
I
Which is your favorite.
meant to say Near and Far.
I think Near and Far is
Above and Below,
most
then Now or
people's.
Never.
The setting just didn't grab me as much. It's gameplay wise, I just didn't care for the setting as much.
This does have his best combat system, though.
Yes.
Use this combat system in other games. I love it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, my number 7 is a big, grandiose game which has an overly complicated combat system. Has an overly even worse negotiation system. And the game is complex. but the story is so good, and that's Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail's story is unbelievably good. So, although I am so dumb. So it's called Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. I know, you're like, welcome to the news for the rest of us new. But we're playing the game. I'm going through the game, and at one point, we're like, here's a grail. Is this the lost grail from King Arthur's Knights? And I was like, oh, that's what Tainted Grail means. It took me so long. I did not realize we were in a King Arthurian. It's like dark King Arthurian. And I didn't notice because King Arthur did not show up on page 1. In this game, the village has a bunch of heroes that go off and they never come back. And you're the backup losers, apprentices of them, so they send you out. And that's who you play this game.
Yeah, that's...
The story's so good. It's so interesting. I wish it was a smoother, easier game to play.
I wish it was streamlined.
That's the thing. Yeah, the combat system, I remember that was such a hard wall to hit. Kind of like the exploration and going around and discovering the locations, and then it was just like, boy. And I think I pretty much checked out at that point. More like, all right, what do I do? Somebody tell me, roll to okay, cool.
And it's fun. And I actually got to the point when I was playing through it solo, I'd get to a combat and I'd be like, and I won. Also,
Yeah, because it's just so. Yeah,
it's not. I don't think it's bad. Loopy called the game hot garbage. That's not true. I think the game is good. It's just complex, and it almost feels like I'm pausing the fun.
Yes.
To go through, do that.
Yeah,
I agree.
But the story, it's really good writing.
I agree.
So that's Tainted Grail.
This one I debated whether or not to put on this list, but for me, this is an adventure game. And this is one that I saw played once at Gen Con. They were playing it in the middle of the hallway. It was the one time I thought, I just wanted to sit there and play that with them. It does not hit the table much. I like it. I don't think you love it. I don't think you've played it. I mean, it's
I feel like every pick here so
it's
far.
a pick up and deliver game.
Tom hates that I haven't played
but
it.
This is, I don't know if you have or not. This is Firefly. Firefly.
I played it.
For me,
No.
All right, Firefly for me, it is. I love the series. I
See
love
all those characters in the cover?
I love the series. You can hire them.
You may not see any of them over the whole course of the game.
Okay, that is true.
Oh,
but if
what?
you
Really?
find them, you can hire
real.
them.
What's the point of the IP
Because
then?
you're creating
'Cause
your
you're all
own
Fireflies.
story. You're creating. You're not gonna have all of them. You might have one or two of them on your staff or crew,
Maybe.
I guess.
I've definitely played a game where I was like,
I agree. But you can pick up and deliver, but you can also run into Reavers. You know, and you've got we have the big verse map. You've got so many places you can go. There's double dealing back and forth. You can do legal cargo. You can do contraband. There's a lot of choices in this, and this is a really enjoyable game for me. And I know Outer Rim and Zaya, of course. Zaya I don't think compares really. I think this is like Outer Rim, obviously, but I think Zaya is more.
it's just too long. That's its biggest problem. I don't know that it's bad. There's a lot of cool things about it.
It is.
It's just a little too long for me.
Well, I mean, it's enjoyable. I love the IP of this. I think it's really fun. Outer Rim, I think, is probably a better game because it's a later game, but I like the theme of this better because I think Star Wars for me is overdone.
I say, this is one I'd definitely be interested in playing because I found Star Wars, the Outer Rim, to be fine, but mostly because every card was just in Greek to me because I have no cares about that theme.
Which one? Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was like, I found, so yeah, I think this is
Do you like Firefly the show?
I do.
Do you love it?
No.
Have you signed petitions to bring it back for the past 20 years?
I have one right here if you were looking for one to sign.
People would be like, these characters are all old now.
I know. And then they kill half of them in the movie.
Spoilers.
Wait, what?
Whatever. If you haven't watched that movie, you don't care about Firefly anyway.
That is.
Have you really not?
I only discovered the TV show like 5 years ago.
That's plenty of time to watch the movie.
How long do you? It's one season.
It took me like a year and a half. I don't know. It was a year and a half worth of content.
Yeah, I would play this with you. This is good.
Yeah,
Tom will not play it with us.
I will not.
We'll play it quickly.
No.
I can finish this in an hour.
You can pick this or the other game.
Okay, I'll play the other one.
He didn't call my bluff because that wasn't happening.
All right. The next one, when we were talking about, or when I was talking about Robinson Crusoe, we said, why haven't other games done that event system of make a choice and then depending on the choice? This game did it, and that's why it's very quiet. This is Frostpunk.
Oh, I've played Frostpunk, so I didn't know that.
I
It's
wondered
so
when she said
good.
that. I thought, wow, she must have picked this over Frostpunk, but you picked
I
Frostpunk
played both.
too.
Yeah, like I said, there's a couple
Okay.
different survival ones in here. But yeah, same kind of thing. You're going through and you're having events, and depending on that, you're having to put different cards into your, we'll call it the event deck here. Same thing, you're passing laws, and depending on that law, other laws become available or not available for your town, city that you're building up here.
Town city.
As well as, depending on if you feed the people, how much you feed them, where you have them sleep, without trying to spoil too much, the actions that you take as the, I guess we'll say, governor of this town here, later on is going to come back. And it's going to be like, wow, they love you. Maybe they've given you some extra work, or maybe they are now revolting against you, or they are striking, that kind of stuff. So you definitely
I'll put down that revolt.
absolutely see your choices come back to haunt you in this. But you're also exploring out in the frozen wasteland, like meeting new people and saving people, kind of resource heavy, trying to gather as well. Yeah, a lot of choices, a lot of things coming back to haunt, and hopefully just survive.
I think revolting is a good word for this because, like, they revolt, and then the things you have to do in this game are also revolting.
Right.
And it completely. So it just hits both sides of that word.
See, I don't know if I love that. Like, I
It's
don't.
dark.
I know almost for doubt, no one here put this War of Mine on this list because that would be the most depressing adventure game in the world.
Yeah,
but
I
I
agree.
struggle with that. And when you guys told me about this, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like some more. I don't mind difficult choices,
Yeah.
but I wanted it to be a little uplifting.
Yeah, this is just impossible choices. This is like child labor you got to do right away.
Right.
I mean, you got to
But
just.
you don't have to know. I mean, I played a
Those
game where I
kids don't
did not pass the child labor. I did, make an orphanage
win?
for them. I don't think I've ever won.
Okay, there we go.
I don't think I've ever won this game. No matter what you do. So you don't have to, the options are there. But then in the future, you can't do child labor. And it just, the avenues that are opened and closed with a really easy card system in this game is very unique. So.
All right, my number 7 is six.
Six. I was
Number
like, oh,
6
wait.
is a game that's based on a universe that's based on D&D. And this is Role Player Adventures.
Oh, thought about this one. Okay.
So Role Player Adventures, which is based on Role Player, which was kind of a spin-off of role characters for D&D. So now they made a whole universe that you're in. But this is very, very story-driven. So the mechanisms are you're rolling dice, and you get more dice depending on the equipment and cards that you have. And there's a lot. It's a whole level up. And again, you're really powerful by the end, although the bad guys are super, super, super powerful by the end. But
Yeah.
what I really like is the story choices matter. So, say there's a guy at the scenario, and you're like, should we save him or do we fight him? You can make that choice. If you save him, most likely he will show up later on in a future adventure. I love that
Do you have to
so
feed him?
much. No.
I don't want to save someone
Now,
and have to feed them.
he might come back and help you in a fight or something.
That's a lot
And
of
that's
stuff.
great.
All
On the
right.
flip side, if there's a bad guy who you're like, I don't feel like dealing with him, you might have to deal with him later. So the game does a really good job at that. I thought the story was really well done. It definitely, in the final scenario, in my opinion, went way off the rails. I was like, what? It went
Really?
from like 6 to 11. You're like, what? So I don't know that I love the ending as much as the rest of this story, but I did love the story throughout. My kids were hilarious because in this, it's a kingdom that's run by humans, and then there's monsters, and my kids instantly were like, monsters are good, humans are bad. It's like, this is not...
I
They're
relate
like,
to your
nope,
kids very well.
that's how it works. And so they choose because there's different factions, and they were like, we're not fooling around monsters. They never deviated from that. The king would be like, are you going to work with me? They're like, nah, fool. they were definitely on the monster side. You could pick, and it will have different endings based on which faction you're... There's 3 factions.
Oh, interesting.
There's the monsters, well, and it's like they're not monsters, they're orcs and goblins, whatever. And there's humans, and then there's like a secret subservient faction that's in, and they're like, nah, monsters all the way.
That's so. Ranking is ending between 10 and Time Stories. It's close to the whole Time Stories ending. Like just.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
It's not Time Stories ending. No.
Okay,
No.
okay, all right.
No. It's a fine ending. I'm just saying it went...
off the rails.
It was just huge. It was a kind of a more bombastic ending than I thought the story warranted.
Oh,
type thing.
All right, more epic.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, but the... No, don't even bring that ending into it. That ending,
Okay,
that
good.
ending is...
Well, speaking of that, my number 5. It's not Time Stories. It's not there. So cute.
Is it Time Stories?
It is not Time Stories.
Oh.
It is, wait, if you guys put Time Stories on there, I'm very sad. All
Well,
right.
if we had been in the middle of the Time Stories
I agree.
adventure, Time Stories would be my number one on this list.
It is the board game Lost, isn't it?
Yes, I agree. Or Game of Thrones season 7.
Oh, I made it sad.
Or 8,
Oh,
whatever
I'll
the
give
final
Game of
season
Thrones credit for Hodor. All right, this one is newer one. This is probably as close to Beer and Pretzels adventure game. Also, it plays at 8. I think it's probably the only one on anyone's list that will play at 8.
For an adventure game?
And for an adventure game, and this, you have not played this, but you would like it. I don't know if you have.
Which one?
This is from Flying Frog. This is Fortune and Glory.
Oh, I don't play this one.
Fortune and Glory is a very Indiana Jones style of game.
You put the old box on there. There's a new, smaller box.
There's a bit, there's a revised edition, which I
Also
would
a terrible
definitely
box.
recommend doing it. And this, again, artwork is going to be very divisive. I don't know if they take pictures of their
So what's
staff.
funny is, okay, so all these people in the box are people who work for that company, wear these clothes, and they take pictures. They do that for all their games. It is not a good look. But if you go to a con, or they don't do it anymore, but it used to, that you would meet these people, and they also try to act their part. So
What? I did not know that.
I went to the one
wow.
time, and the guy was like an axe murderer and came up, and he's just peering at me, and I'm like,
What?
Oh, like Touch of Evil or like...
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they
So
did that.
Do you want to buy our game? I was like,
Not really.
No.
That's hilarious. Wow, this is pretty much you're seeking fortune and glory. And you're going through, this is very Indiana Jones, where even we have Nazis up against it. But the storyline in this is great because the whole thing is like in one situation, I'm sitting there trying to sneak into a U-boat. And then all of a sudden I failed the die roll, so then something else happens. You have to fight someone, and I end up having to fight a Panzer tank. And it's like, this is just fantastic. Otherwise, I'm sneaking onto a Zeppelin. And the whole thing is, this also works competitive or cooperative.
I heard that this is it's called the cliffhanger game. Like every time you do something, it ends on a cliffhanger, and then you resolve it next time.
Only if you fail. So if you pass,
what?
if you fail, okay, if you pass the skill check, then you move on. But if you don't, you flip a cliffhanger that you have to resolve next turn. So you have a cliffhanger, you have to go up again, so it's a cliffhanger until your next turn.
But
now,
you at least know about it.
yes,
before the
yeah,
next
you know
turn.
what's going to
Okay,
happen.
okay.
And now, I play this competitive first, but then cooperative works because then you introduce the other Nazis are now their own AI. So then the clock is, you're trying to get these different relics before
AI
they
Nazis
do.
are the worst Nazis.
What's that? Oh,
AI
AI.
Nazis are
I
the worst.
agree.
Jeez.
There's also the mob, but let's be honest, it's Nazis. If you're playing Indiana Jones, then you gotta play with Nazis. So this is, again, it's a fun, loose style of game. Indiana Jones music in the background. This is fun. So I enjoy this one. This is Fortune and Glory. Very Indiana Jones.
All right.
All right. My number 5, I am the only one that's played it, I'm pretty sure here. No, you did. You did. I take that back. This is Earthborn Rangers. I really enjoy...
I'm gonna say it's not on your list.
Okay, well, me and Joey played.
Oh, Joey played it with you.
We played like
did.
3% of this game, so we don't have
Okay.
I don't think we can make a solid opinion. Go ahead and do your thing.
Okay.
Although I may have one.
I really enjoy the evolving nature of the adventure in this. I think that for an adventure game, it's set in days, not necessarily episodic tasks that you're trying to do. A campaign of this is 30 days, which is 30 playthroughs. And in that 30 playthroughs, you're going through and meeting people and trying to complete tasks for them. I know the one right off the bat is the juniper biscuits, and you're trying to deliver juniper biscuits to another.
That did not
another
endear the
character.
game to me.
It's not, but I mean, that's one that is teaching you the game, and that is just very like, here's how you play, and then from there, as you're meeting these characters and you're helping them, find a perfect home for them, and then they establish their own little place that you can visit in the future, which is going to give you different rewards or to open up different options for you. So as you're going through and you're meeting these people, you're really discovering this whole world, and by completing these different quests and adventures, and you have 30 days to kind of discover and build up this world. I really like it. I like the individual nature of the characters. As you're building your deck, you're choosing not just your character, but also their personality and their special interest and their background. So your deck that you're building for the character is a conglomerate of like 4 different, but it is 4 different traits that you actually build. So your character is unique to your build, and I like that as well. So it's an adventure game that is very unique as you discover the world and it unfolds.
Yeah, no joke. I definitely am hesitant to give an opinion on this one because I was overwhelmed by the fairly involved rules. It's a little convoluted for sure. And the story was just not jiving with me. So maybe I would like it if I could just push through that initial deliver cookies. And also, we're not necessarily fighting. There was a lot of weird things to it, which, again, everyone says it's amazing. So maybe...
Yeah.
If I invested more, I kind of literally turned in the actual SpongeBob meme when the whole thing is, first you're going to deliver cookies. No one's going to try to kill you. Just take these cookies somewhere. I'm going to head out. Because I was like, I don't know. I wanted more conflict or whatever, which might show up later. I don't know.
Which there is, yeah. I mean, because there's two different ways that you can get rid of the animals that come up, the bad characters. You can either scare them off or you can connect with them. So one of the two. So which to scare them off is more combat.
I think
it feels like combat. They just don't call it combat.
Yeah. It's a tough first play because they're like, hey, make a deck. And you're like, oh, okay. Put these cards in. Choose another card. Oh, okay, this seems cool.
Did you go through the actual building intro though, where it's like it has you build and choose 2 traits, and then you play a little bit for a little micro session, and then you put another trait in, and then play a micro session.
Wow.
So, okay. So you're actually using your deck as you build it, so that you're making informed choices as you're building it.
The reason I didn't, because it was a very weird tutorial, and I still don't like the way that was. It's like, here's a tutorial. I'm like, great, we're playing a tutorial. Tutorial's like, you still need to read the rule book. And I was like, are you kidding me?
I don't think they called it a tutorial. I think they called it a, what was it? It was something, but it wasn't a tutorial like how to play the game. It was
definitely kind of like a first tutorial. They said you can skip it and just build your characters, or you could play through this to build your characters.
Right, so it was a to build your character scenario. It was not a how to play the game.
Right, but when I read that and it said you could skip and build your character, and then I was like, well, let's just skip and build a character. You know what? We're impatient
User
people.
error, maybe?
And also, he wasn't doing anything. He was letting me read all the rules. So
I really was.
You can't say nothing.
I zoned out.
All right.
Where are we at? 5s? 5. Here's my other new pick on this list. And this one, I played a lot of it in one night or morning. And that is 7th Citadel.
You did.
And I enjoyed it so much, I took it home to keep playing. Which, as you know, I probably haven't.
No, but I can imagine.
Is it set up at least?
No.
No, because there's other things that are set up right now. My daughter has taken over that room.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's gone
9
now,
days.
Right?
9 days. I'm counting down. No, not counting down. I'll be sad, but still, I'll get my room back. But anyhow, this is such a cool story. It's future. It's almost too much. Like they keep saying, they'll have terms, and you're like, what is that again? And they have a little glossary, and they tell you, look in the glossary. Oh, that's what these things are. But it has these giant worms that are destroying things, which sounds a little like Dune / what's the TV?
Tremors.
Tremors, thank you. But it's more than that.
The better Dune.
Necro druids, which I think is a cool,
That's
so
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
a cool thing. And it's like sci-fi post-apocalyptic. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
I like that.
And it's just really fun.
Is it as punishing as the first one, the 7th Continent, where just the Stark, and you die after 10 hours?
No, it's
Okay.
not. And you definitely, what it does is it gives you short missions.
Oh,
So you
I
do.
like that.
I mean, when I say short, they're like an hour and a half. But
Yeah.
but
Well, that's really short.
but you do the mission, and if you fail the mission, you still proceed in the story. So the game, first of all, has a tutorial, which is its whole mission. This whole tower's collapsed. You got to get out of it. Then you can pick one of the. I think there's 2 books that come with the game, and a third one comes with the expansion. And you play through that whole book, which is a mission, and then another mission, another mission. We're talking 20, 30 hours each, but you play them at a time, and then you're building this citadel and this city around the citadel, and so you can build buildings. Like my kids, when I play with my kids, they're like, we're building a tavern first. I'm like, maybe we should build a lumber mill. They're like, nah. So we built a tavern, and because why not?
Might as well.
So there's a lot going on in it, but the story and adventure is really fun, and it is an easier game. And to be fair, also, if I'm never sure about a rule in this game, I always err on the side of easy because it's a co-op game and I don't care.
Well, especially if you're looking at it as an adventure game, you want to experience the adventure and enjoy the adventure.
Yeah, so if you want to see this one, we played through
3 or 4
5
hours.
almost 6 hours. We played through, and We didn't even get, I think, one third through that particular. Oh no, we played the tutorial too. We played the getting out of the Citadel.
Yes.
Okay.
Which leaves you with like these impossible choices. For you, they wouldn't be impossible. Like, should we say that person, Camilla's already crushed your skull?
I'm like, bye. I'm getting out. The goal is to get out. Why would you stop and get people?
Because of stuff.
Do you have to feed them later?
No, because of stuff.
Do have to
You
carry.
loot their bodies?
You have to
I
carry
didn't know
them
that.
sometimes.
So you're looting. Do I loot the person?
Because you gotta carry. You were not as annoyed as Violet. Violet was like, "Can I just throw this person off the wall?"
I was so annoyed. I would not have saved you if I knew I had to carry you everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, well, really fun game. 7th Citadel.
Okay, my number 4, it's funny how there's like 2 very similar versions of this, different themes. And the other one is actually on my top 100 list. This, I don't believe is, but this fits more in the adventure category. And this is Journeys in Middle-earth. Lord of the Rings. And this one for me is more of an adventure game, especially since they allowed you to play it as more of an adventure game.
I have not. Have you played it with that mode?
It's so much better.
Yes, man.
Yes, because otherwise I would die so much because I'm like, I really want to find out if that actually is Gollum in there. And go in here, and then meanwhile I'm losing the game.
Yeah, it really,
But you
really.
just wanna know.
It did not allow any exploration.
It did not.
You're like, I want to see what's behind that tree. Well, then you're dead.
Right, yeah, it's like it wanted you to go progress, not actually enjoy the story, which is anti-Tolkien, let's be honest.
Right.
Because
Tolkien would have played this game and been like, what?
explaining.
There should be at least 4 hours of just setting the board up.
it would be. It's like, tell me more about this tile for a couple hours. You know, so this is very fun. Again, casted to the TV. It's got. I do like how they keep coming out with expansions. You know, and they keep buying.
Are they
them.
still?
Supported
They're still, yeah. So it's
Oh,
like, and they're
wow.
little like minis that updates to the app. And I like this.
Do you buy them all?
I do. Have I played them all? What do you think?
we already know the answer to that.
Okay. How long until they show up here?
So this one is great. Again, it's a great story, and that new, I forgot what they call it, the Explorer, where you actually
Isn't
get to
it just
enjoy.
like Explore mode?
I think it is like an Explorer
Okay.
mode where you can actually, it's not punishing, you just enjoy the story on this. So this, I think Mansions of Madness is more like a mystery, kind of solving all that stuff. This, for me, is more adventure and story.
That I agree
Yeah,
on.
okay.
And I just kind
Ooh.
of, I stopped playing it because I just didn't want to keep playing through. It's still campaign though, isn't it?
It's still, that's the other problem. If they developed the whole Mansions thing as being one-offs, then I would
People
love
are saying
this.
the game is over.
Oh, it's
Okay.
over? Well, fine.
Well, there's still a ton of content. You're
You're fine. You haven't even
It
played
didn't shut
Joey.
down.
How many have you played?
I
with
still
them?
haven't
Come
played
on.
any expansions, although I
Yes.
got them.
Oh my gosh.
So it ends?
So you're
Does it end
fine.
time stories like? So yeah.
No, you
Anyway,
fight Sauron in the end. I don't
this
know.
is. Hey, I deviate. I'm not on that story track.
Knowing this game, it will end and it'll be like, and this is where you meet. And then the credits for Lord of the Rings play, and you're like, oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so.
that's really cool. They made the official like story mode. I'm super. This is my nerdy theme, if you will. You know, like
Yeah,
I
Lord of
don't
the
really
Rings style.
care. I don't really care like Star Wars stuff like that. Yeah.
And again, if this
Interesting.
was more scenario driven, it would hit the table a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is the game, Joey, where you're like, oh, and it plays up to 8. I think this one only plays 7, but I thought maybe it's what you were going to say because I know you guys are a fan of Freelancers, which I haven't played, but I have played Forgotten Waters. And I love.
That was my number 11.
Was it? Wow,
Forgotten
I'm like,
Waters.
so I feel like my list is your 11 through 20.
This is
what
my
it's been so
shameful
We
house.
haven't had a single crossover yet.
Yeah. I just absolutely adore Forgotten Waters. I like it in a bigger group setting. It's definitely cooperative and it feels cooperative, but you also feel pirates. You are out for yourself. I love the evolving story here as you're getting little clues on where to go and what to do there, but you still have your own, I guess, you have your own decisions to make on how you go there. We need to get somewhere over there in the fog. All right, do we want to go around this island? Do we want to go to the island on our way? That has some rough seas up there. You're going to have different other ships that you encounter as they come, and it's going to unfold the story. But ultimately, you have your own goal student. It's like, oh, get a treasure. I want that treasure for me. It's like, oh, I should do this. I should be the bigger person and sail the ship. Nope, I'm going to market for the day, or I'm going to the tavern for the day.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. And so
For the day?
For the day. You know, I don't know.
My
It happens,
goodness.
Whatever. You know,
Are you in
I'll
Tom's
see you
family?
tomorrow.
That's true. I need to like worry about their future upbringing.
I know.
Then I turned 21. No.
Oh, but I
goodness.
really, really I really, really like the evolving story of this, the nature of it being so cooperative, but having that little like moments of selfishness and the Mad Libs on your stories, on your
That's one thing I have
is
heard.
Really funny.
This is like on my honest shelf of shame that I want to play because I know I'll love. Is this campaign or scenario driven?
Scenario.
So you can't just do one-offs?
Yes.
But it is a long one-off, and they definitely have a point where they're like, hey, you're halfway. You want to stop here?
Yeah, they all have a
which is
midway
good.
point, and it's very like, you've played to this point, so you can clean it up because something big is getting ready to happen, and so when you pull it back out, you're pulling back out fresh.
I usually play it through. It's just shy of 3 hours. It's not too bad.
Wait for each scenario?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
No.
No, I really, really enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. It's Forgotten Waters.
All right, my number 4. Guys, last week, I'm 47. This is the first time it's ever happened to me in my life where I was dreaming and I realized I was dreaming. It's never happened to me before.
Ooh,
People always talk about it,
really?
and I'm like, nah.
Did you do fun stuff?
That's like,
And then I woke up.
you're so
Flew by, and I was like, I can do anything I want. Then I woke up, I was so mad.
Oh, you were going to answer so many questions for me. Oh, man.
I was so.
I can't believe you've never done that. Are you an
I
avid
think-
dreamer?
I think most people have.
That's what I'm
I've
saying.
never.
I can't believe you have not done that.
Wait, what?
No, most people haven't realized they're dreaming.
What? I thought everyone did. You don't,
No.
like in dreams, like, oh wow, okay. I dream a lot, but I feel like that's a recurrence. It's probably once a week that in my dream, I wake up in my dream and I know I'm
Like,
dreaming.
do you know this
but
is a
I
dream
still-
right now?
I start making choices. No, like I start
Rip
making
off your face.
like I'll start making choices in my dreams. I'm like, oh, I'm dreaming, so therefore I can
No,
do this.
that never happens.
Really?
And I know it doesn't happen to
Oh,
everyone because
wow.
my kids and I have had a discussion
I've
where they
never.
don't understand how movies people always pinch themselves to see if they're dreaming because they never have had a dream like that. So why would you pinch yourself? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Huh.
Everything just makes sense in a dream.
Wow.
And when you wake up, you're like, what was that?
Why are we talking about this?
Got
My
it.
number 4 is about dreams, which is Ether Fields. Another Awakened Realms
Awakened
game.
Realms,
In
yeah.
fact, ISS Vanguard was also on my short list. Ether Fields, though, is about going through dreams, except none of these dreams are pleasant. Like you might be going through an abandoned
good.
amusement park. Or,
that's cool, though. That's
well,
like a
not in a
dream of
dream.
mine.
An abandoned one?
Or in
Yes, no, I
stifling
think that would
dark.
be so cool.
Okay, great. Or a room full of cockroaches.
Okay,
or,
not that one.
You
No.
put this over Tainted Grail, really?
So it was a tough choice. I thought about it. Tainted Grail has the better story, for sure.
yeah.
But Ether Fields has that, what dream are we going into now?
Really?
This is the dream where
Okay.
mannequins come to life. This
Oh,
is the
that's so
dream
cool.
where this happens.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
That's some Doctor
Now,
Who
again, it
stuff.
has the exact same problems as Tainted Grail, and that the combats, I got to the point where I'm like, yeah, I beat this guy. Anyway,
Okay.
let's go back and play
Like
the game.
it's like there's
Yeah.
a pattern with a company or something.
But some people really like that stuff. But I really like the stories and the whole dreams. And then, is there a connection between the dreams? I saw something in this dream. There's even a thing I really like, a mechanism that you get to. This is slight spoilers, but not a big deal. A mechanism where they give you some stuff and they say, here's some pictures. If you ever see this picture in a card, something will happen. And you're like, ooh. So now you're looking at every card like, do I have this picture? I love that stuff. So,
Huh. I have not played this,
I haven't either.
but I've heard mixed reviews about it. So
it is mixed, and I'm not arguing that. In fact, they released a thing where like, fine, if you want to play an easy level, here's how to not have the monster keep attacking you all the time. And I was like, done.
really?
Oh,
Okay.
it's that hard.
Well, it's not that it's that hard. It's that in between these big dreams, there's like these mini dreams where just basically a monster comes and you fight the monster. And every time it happens, I'm like, fine, I'll do the stupid mini dream because I'm there for the
I see
big,
what you're
cool
saying.
new
Yeah,
dreams.
yeah.
Right,
And
right.
discovering stuff. And then this little mini one, they're like, okay, you can skip doing that. I'm like, done.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on, we need a crossover.
There's
We're going to have a
we've
crossover.
Had, yeah, I think so. I think towards the
that's
top
our-
we're gonna have some crossovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, this one right here. I don't know if you would have this on your list. This might not,
every time.
this might not
You
be a
don't like it,
crossover.
and you haven't
I
played
haven't
it.
played it, right? That's what I'm
This-
saying. Yeah, pattern.
This
pattern.
is a legacy game that I've played twice.
Oh,
You played Legacy game twice?
Yes, because it's that good. And this is Clank Legacy.
wow.
For me, this adventure in it, and I'll tell you what, it does change on this. This is, of course, based on Clank, but this is, you would not put this on adventure, would you?
No, I didn't think of it.
It's good, right? I was really thinking it'd be on yours, and I'm like, wow, you must have it really high. You forgot about this one? Makes me sad.
I thought of Clank, and I was like, no, Clank's not really an
No,
adventure game.
This is.
It's a good one.
It's full on adventure game. I mean, you've got the story, and it's a fun, tongue-in-cheek style. I know nothing about Acquisitions Incorporated, the whatever podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. I just played this as
it's based on
Clank. Yeah, it's based on an IP. I don't know what
I didn't
exactly it
know
is.
that. Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. It is 10 games, but and they're
Is it?
very easy. I did air quotes, so I get it's 10 games. But it's great because everything is about an hour. You know, each game is maybe.
Maybe. Some of them are longer.
I guess.
There's a lot of reading.
There is a lot of reading.
Does it have like foreteller or anything like that?
This is pre-foreteller, so
Yeah.
maybe the new one will.
It might. Now, I agree with you in the fact that afterwards it is playable, but you never really play it afterwards.
There's almost no legacy game that people play afterwards. And I know
No.
people say, I'm going to.
Well, I mean, like, their case in point, like,
Take
you
it
played
to ride.
Legacy, and then rather than playing that game still, you started a new Legacy.
We started a new
You
one
know what I'm
because-
saying? Like that.
Putting the stickers on it and making that map different every time, and then your choices on which cards you vault, which cards you pull out. There's a lot of fun decisions that go in to it, and it's competitive, but
I
feels
played it
cooperative.
1.5 times.
Did you? Are you halfway through one?
Well, I started playing with the kids during the pandemic, but then the pandemic ended, so we went back outside.
Oh, that's so sad.
No, it wasn't my call. They were like, "Do we have to?" Because before I was like,
Oh.
"What else you gonna do?"
that is a good
they
point.
weren't
You have a
enjoying
captive
it.
We played-
audience.
No, they liked it fine, but we played through actually multiple legacy games during the pandemic.
They were just over it. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a great one if you haven't. I love Push Your Luck, but again, I love the fact that it's competitive, but co-op. You really want to advance the story. You don't care as much who wins each time. So, and it's Clank.
All right. Well, Joey, if I know that you like Betrayal at House on the Hill, as I do.
Yes.
And it's broken. It's terribly broken.
So
but it's still a
broken,
good game.
but wonderful.
I love it that you have the different scenarios that you can play, and some are cooperative, and some are going to be competitive, and you don't really know what you're getting into. And I'm pretty sure you've not played this game. This is going to be Waste Night 2nd Edition.
This was not where I was expecting that to
No,
go.
where do you think
I
it's going to
think
go?
Betrayal Legacy.
Betrayal Legacy.
Oh, no,
That's what I thought too. I thought, wow.
Honestly, no, because it has all the different scenarios that you can play, and they all have different goals and stuff. Waste Night 2nd Edition is post-apocalyptic
Really?
Australia.
I'm starting to think you like losing games
I don't have a problem with it.
because this
It's-
game
well,
is
especially
so
in a-
hard.
Especially in an adventure game. I definitely, to be clear, I don't mind losing adventure games because it's about the adventure. I don't mind going out and trying.
This one
Survival games
definitely
are
is.
one of my
This is Mad
top.
Max.
This is
Oh, really?
so good. And so you're going out and you're playing through these different scenarios and trying to complete different goals. As you're doing it, you're making different choices, which is choose your own adventure. So you choose A or B, and that sets the course for the rest of the scenario. And again, you get to another crossroads, you do A or B, and that sets a new path in it. I love the setting of this. I love the stories that come from it. I love the difficult choices that you have to make in order to I think
I'm
want
always like,
to
I'm
do
about to
this.
die.
I love it. It's so
This is
good.
Australia,
It
though?
is. This is post-apocalyptic Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
Everything in Australia kills you now. Can you
Already,
imagine after
right?
the apocalypse?
I know, it's already a whole country trying to kill you, and then it's post-apocalyptic. It's so good. It's like, it reminds me of Frostpunk, where you're locking yourself out of stuff, but just has a really good story behind it, and just like you said, has that Mad Max vibe to it. Oh,
Yeah, because at the beginning of the game, you have your character and you got your vehicle. So like one person has a motorcycle,
really?
which
Yeah.
is fast, but
Yeah.
also don't get attacked by a half Komodo dragon monster.
And you're gonna in some of the scenarios you'll encounter other factions, and you have to decide, are you fighting with them or against them or for them, so there's a neat combat system to it as well, all while you're just trying to complete it. So yeah, it's really good. It's another long one, but I think with adventure games, I don't discount them because of game length. I know I'm going in for the adventure. I'm not going in necessarily to win. I'm going in for the cool stories and for that time and emotional investment.
Yeah.
So for this one, it's a little long. It can run 3 hours, but it's such a cool journey.
Does
every
Mad
time.
Max take place in Australia? I haven't seen the movies, so I don't know.
Looks like
Or
it.
does
I
it
don't know.
doesn't really tell you?
So Mel Gibson was Australian.
I knew that part, so I was like, maybe?
Yeah. Z would know.
Tina Turner land.
Is Xena?
Is Tina
or
Turner in it?
Xena,
Is she in it too?
Z still
She's in the
chat?
third one, dude.
I didn't know that. I haven't seen any of them.
You've
I
seen
know.
Mad Max Fury Road,
No, I haven't seen any of them.
Furiosa.
No.
Furious of the Fury.
I think he has not seen them.
No,
Tom.
which is funny. I always tell
got
people,
lost.
He's always trying to get us to watch these crap movies, and then you don't watch a good
I haven't
one?
seen
I
good
know, I need to watch them.
To be fair, even I've seen it, but.
Okay, Mike Harris says the first movie certainly takes place in Australia.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right, got it.
My number
A lot of
3 is
guesses.
almost a crossover with Camilla, but not quite. I
Last
knocked
night's first edition?
my game off. I knocked yours off the list because I like this one better.
Freelancers.
And it's Freelancers,
I
yeah.
figured so.
Freelancers,
yeah.
such fun. I'm
big
telling
idea.
you, Plaid Hat Games, every other company needs to take a note from them hiring actual voice artists to do this stuff. It's phenomenally, and it also, the writing is so good. Like the writing in
Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters is great. Writing in Freelancers is another level. I mean, I was laughing out loud the whole game.
You know what's holding me back from this?
The app?
The
The
rabbit
box
on the
cover.
front.
I hate the box cover.
It's a big
I
egg,
love
though.
that art style, but for some reason that box cover is just I despise it, and that is why I've not taken a plunge into this game.
No, and again, I don't really have a problem. I mean, I get that, but man, it hits that spot of funny fantasy. It's very Adventure Time-esque. I like the fact that the class that you are will have random things happen in the story because of that.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
They did that a little bit in Forgotten Waters. I think they did better here. And then they also have this overarching story, which is cohesive. And again, Forgotten Waters does that too.
Yep.
I know that you love incohesive stories.
I love incohesive stories.
But I like cohesive stories that are not on rails, which is really interesting to me. And that's hard to do. It's a lot of work. But Plaid Hat's done it twice now. If they make a third game in the series, I don't care what the theme is, I'm instant
For
back.
sure. Absolutely,
Back,
for sure.
instant buy. Like, I'm hoping they do a space one. They've been talking about doing that for a while. You would love a post-apocalyptic or a zombie one.
Oh,
That would be
absolutely, yeah,
fun.
for
like,
sure.
They have that. Wait, no, they don't have the other game. What's their zombie game? Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter.
Oh, yeah.
Asmodee kept Dead of Winter, right?
Yep.
Too bad, because a Dead of Winter
Would've
thing
been
of
much
this
better.
would be
Yeah.
great. I wouldn't even mind if it wasn't as funny, although I tend to like funny adventure more than
There's no
grimdark.
traitor in this, right?
No, you're just playing to
Okay.
play.
Okay.
I think. I don't know if one of the scenarios has a traitor. I'm
Oh,
not
okay,
going
gotcha,
to
okay.
guarantee it. I don't know, but
Are
so
these
far.
replayable?
Yes, and I know this. Okay, because first of all, I played the one with my kids, and at one point they're like, ha ha ha, do you care if we curse? And I was like, it's not that big of a deal. And later on I was like, okay, maybe I should have said no. Okay?
My goodness.
Wait, how does that make it replayable if you can curse?
No, I'm
Anything you can curse is replayable.
Got it.
no, I'm just saying that I then played it again with Z and them, the exact same scenario, and it played out very differently.
Okay, got it.
I mean,
Were you
some of
also giving them like suggestions? I love when you don't know it's going to play different. You tell them like, I would go in the closet, and then
Yeah.
they die. You're like,
You're like,
listen,
"Oh,
did not happen last
My
time.
bad.
Or
I
you
let the kids make decisions. They're
That's
very.
true.
They're not risk. They're a little risk adverse, but they're just not kind. Like, here, help me out, says the beggar, and they're like, no. But a butterfly comes by, and we'll kill the whole party to save that.
and they're cursing, and it's like,
Cursing at them.
Anyway, my number 3, Freelancers.
All right, this one right here is my number 2. Is probably would have been number 1, but it got bumped. But this one
That's
is
deep.
pure open world, and I adore this game. And this is Western Legends. Western Legends for me is an adventure game that is open world, and you can go every time. I go a different track, up and down. And I love the expansions on this. I played once with every expansion, and it was an enormous mistake.
You should not do that
No.
with any game.
And with new people, I said, you're going to love this game. Spoiler, they did not love this game. It was...
You've done this multiple times
I
with
really
multiple
have.
games.
I have, and it's just, you got to just pick and choose some to add. But this one is fun. I mean, you can sit there, you can mine, you can take gold, you can give it to a bank, turn around and rob the bank. You know, and it's
I
just...
agree. I should have thought
Wait.
of this. I didn't think of this one either.
It's
You
a...
give them money to then steal it from
Well, you
them?
take the gold.
Oh yeah, you definitely go to the bank, put stuff in, and then be like, "Stick them up."
It's
That makes
so
no
good.
sense. It's
And
like
then you-
hiding your own Easter eggs.
Well,
No, you're robbing them
Yeah.
But you also get credit for depositing.
You do.
I'm
What?
a good citizen.
Like my credit score is going up, but also.
And you can pivot. Like, I'll be over there mining, and the train will come by, and you're like, might as well rob it. You know, you jump over to rob
It
the
is
train.
funny. Now, you shouldn't do whiplash too much. It's usually best
No,
to stay
I-
on bad guy or
I
good
agree.
guy.
I agree.
But sometimes it's really funny. You go and rob the bank, and you get thrown in jail, you get caught or whatever. Then later on, you come out of jail, someone else robbed the bank, you're like, I'm arresting you because I learned my lesson.
Yes.
You go throw them in jail, then you're like, but also, then you go back and rob the bank.
It's so
wild.
good. Yeah, and you have not played this one.
I've not.
Oh, I love. And you know what? The rule set, the core rule set is fairly simple.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think it does get a bit overcomplicated with the expansions, but this is a great. And this one was my first intro into open world. I like Zaya too, but for some reason I gravitate to this one over Zaya.
Yeah, I like.
You know,
open
because
world
of
a
the
lot.
space. There's a lot of.
I like
space
this
games
better
out
than
there.
Zaya too, and I like space a lot, but that's because I think there's so few Western games.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's why I go to this.
And we
because I
played
think it's unique.
another sandbox Western game, which I forget the name of it now, recently, that wasn't as good as this one.
No, I agree. Which is
Oh, I
sad
don't know
because
what
we
that was.
heard it was like, this is like Western Legends.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
it was not as good.
Someone tell us in the chat, because I can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. My number 2, I'm guessing, is going to be on y'all's list because I'm really shocked no one said it yet. That is Sleeping Gods.
Hate it.
Okay, all right. So Sleeping Gods. You're
So
talking
the
about.
first one.
Yes, I haven't played the other one. I played Primeval Peril. Honestly, Primeval Peril is probably my favorite because it's digestible.
Oh,
It's,
Distant Skies.
like I haven't played that one.
Okay.
Primeval Peril is the little 4 character, I can't remember
Okay.
now, but a very, very small. It's like 2 hours. You know, it's digestible. But if I have a rainy weekend and want to stick away and at home and go through a big open world. Go wherever you want. Follow through on whatever quest you want to. Try and collect these relics until a very clear ending happens, and then count up how many relics you got and how many deaths you had, et cetera, and that's your score. These scenarios are going to be 10 plus hours. I love that you have all these different quests and all these different people that you're meeting, and you're choosing which ones to go through and fulfill. And as you're going through, you're seeing all these things that you don't have access to. And there's always that, oh, but what if I did have that keyword? What if I could have talked to that lady? What if I could have looked behind that bush? You know, you don't have those keywords. And so I like that you see as you're playing the replayability in it as well, but it doesn't detract from the adventure that you're building. So I really like that a lot. And Sleeping Gods.
This one was on my short list, but I'm not crazy about it. I don't know why. I think I'd gravitate to above and below, near and far, whatever.
I think this one will probably fall off my top 100 next year. It's definitely like taken a pretty big nosedive for me personally. But in adventure games, if you're saying what are my top adventure games, like for adventure, this is way high on the list. So it's like my personal enjoyment is different than where do I rank it amongst other adventure games specifically that I like.
And I've only played Distant Skies, so I have not played the
Got it,
base
yeah.
of this. So that's the only one I can compare it to.
The Western game is Bantam West. That's what they said in the comments.
Okay,
okay.
yes.
My number 2 is a game that I didn't think would be an adventure game until I played it. And, we were talking about Journeys of Middle-earth.
Yep.
I don't like that you can't go off and do stuff. This game does allow you to do it while doing the main quest, and this is Return to Dark Tower.
Yes.
This is a really fun
wish I
adventure
would've
game
thought
for
of
me
this.
because you are going off. You'll find a dungeon. You'll be like, man, I'm going to go in this dungeon. Or I'm going to go over here and do this task. And every game has this adventure story that culminates in you fighting some boss, but you're fighting his hordes and minions along the way. And every game of it's also very much, customizable. I want to play this scenario, this final boss, these minions. You pick. That's great.
I love that.
And I also like the first expansion. I have not played the second expansion, but the first expansion, I like that it adds guilds. It makes the game harder with these colored skulls that do all kinds of weird stuff. But also you have these guilds that you can get influence and just get better stuff. I'm a big fan of every expansion that makes a game harder and easier.
Like it gives
It
options, you mean?
it balances them out. It's
Okay.
like, here's some stuff make the game harder. You're like, oh no, here's some great stuff. Because a lot of these
Yeah.
games are like, we're going to make the game harder. Cool, right? Like, no.
And that's it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
People are saying they're beating it too much. Stop listening to them.
Right, yeah. They're also still playing the game, so
This one would have been on my list if I would have remembered. Actually, when the show started, it showed up on the chat. I'm like, wow, that's a good one. I guess because I focus so much on the gimmick in the middle, I forget the adventure that surrounds it.
But it'll let you do that.
It does.
If there's a dungeon, you can go through that dungeon because it might matter.
Right.
You'll get some benefit out of it that will help the game. It's really clever that way.
Yeah, this is a great game. This is a huge surprise at how good the game is for me.
Number 2. Sorry. I do not know your number ones.
Not even mine?
I have a guess
It's
as to
so
yours.
obvious. If you don't know it, you're nothing. I won't finish that.
Wow, that was rude.
Oh,
I don't even know what you were about to
I
say.
pulled back.
It's not anything on here.
I think.
And I don't know what yours is.
I do not think my number 1 will be on either of yours. I think it'll be unique to my list. Which so far,
Oh,
all
I
of
was going to
them
say,
have
that doesn't
been.
really change your list. And your number
Did we
1, I
get
don't
a
know
hint?
either.
Did we hit on yours?
Oh, I don't.
The hit on,
I,
all right, the hit on.
Is it a
the hit on
crossover
mine.
with anything that's been said
It was
yet?
a crossover with somebody.
oh, hang on.
Okay, it's been a crossover?
Hang on. No. No. Maybe, I don't know if you played this one.
I'm
Maybe.
going to guess freelancers.
I'll go 7 Citadel.
7 Citadel. I haven't played freelancers, so.
Oh, you were a part of that play group? Okay,
I was not.
then my guess didn't count. I thought you were.
So yeah, 7 Citadel. This is one that I was prepared to be let down,
Oh.
and
Sorry, I
because
figured out Camilla's.
I'm like,
What is it? Because you looked, you cheater.
No,
cheat
I saw it in
face.
chat.
this one right here. This has great expiration, and I had to stay quiet when you mentioned it before. This does play better because you can explore more. It's not as punishing. You can explore the world. This is more like the app for Journeys in Middle Earth, where you can actually you can explore more, and it plays better at more than one player than Seventh Continent did. It
Yes, it does.
It does so many things more, and I love the branches. The more in the storyline, for example, if you find item X, you're going to do plan C, but if you find item Y, you're going to go over here. And then on top of that, I don't think it's as open world. 7 Citadel had the problem of being so open world, you would spend 6 hours somewhere you shouldn't go. This one
Right. It's like,
has,
maybe go northwest. And you're like, did I go
Right.
north enough? Did I go west enough?
This
Did
one
I-
has
yeah.
wide rails, I feel, to where it keeps you a bit more pointed.
Yeah, you get this, as the game progresses, you get this crudely drawn map.
Right.
And they're like, go to this city. You're like, well, it's in the southeast. So you head down there, and unless you're like being totally dense, you're going to eventually find a
Yes.
city somewhere. And I like that. And then maybe you'll find something and go, I don't care about that. Later on, someone will mention it, and you'll be like, aha.
Yeah,
That's
I
where we
agree.
go this time.
Yeah, so anyway,
That's
this one I
quite
think it
well.
really lived up to it, and this, after we played it in the live play for 5 hours, I immediately wanted to go home and I organized mine to play again, because this is a great game. Yeah,
That's really cool.
So I enjoy it.
Mine is not Destinies, as they're saying in the chat.
Okay, so if we had Chris, Wendy, and Roy here, Destinies would make their top 10.
Right. And I think it probably would have been
Yeah,
my top 10. I forgot about it, though. And
It was
so
on my
that's
short
why
list.
it's not.
I haven't played the newest Fantastical
Which one?
one.
Or where?
Whichwood,
No, Witchwood,
which
yeah.
might change my mind
I
because
agree.
I love the fantastical
So
stuff.
you'll like it. Yeah. I really enjoy it a lot. I don't know why. It just eluded me.
You
on
count
this
Spirit
list.
Island as an adventure game?
So, no.
Okay.
No. The story's not strong enough on that. It is Sea of Legends. Is that what your guess was?
No, it was Final Girl, but
No, I think I put that on Boss Battler.
oh, that's true, you did.
Yeah, so I couldn't have that.
I wasn't
Sea of
there.
Legends is so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, so it's going to be this open world pirate game where you are trying to be notorious, and you have your character and your captain adventure you can go on, or you have a lover and you can go on their adventure as well, or a nemesis. And so you have 3 different storylines that you are pursuing as you go through this.
I always do the Nemesis.
Yeah,
that
absolutely,
person.
absolutely. But then there's these NPC factions as well that you're going to fight, and as you go through and develop each of these storylines, you're going to see the inner workings of the characters that you have. So, for example, I might align with one of the NPCs, and then one of them come on board and find out that that NPC I have is actually your cousin or your lover's ex-lover.
Oh,
You
back
know,
to
something
lovers
like
again.
that.
That's all I remember from this game. Is the lover thing came up so many times in the top 100.
or the nemesis or whatever. But as you're developing these stories, you see them. You're seeing them all intertwined
Like-
together, and there's just some really funny moments as the story comes together. It is app driven. driven just for the story, so it is very board heavy in the play, but the app takes care of all of the stories and all of those inner workings. So you start and you say who you're going to play, who everyone's lover is, who everyone's nemesis is, and what factions you chose, and boom, you're ready to go.
Sounds like Bridgerton.
What?
I don't know, the whole lover thing everywhere.
You're not allowed.
I'm sorry, you're not allowed.
Gosh, what is your problem?
I
don't know.
Jeez.
So I
Why
don't
do
think
you
of
hate
pirates and think of who's their lover.
Well, then you just have a
Well,
chain
wow,
of
you have a very sad
do.
pirate life.
Camilla.
For me.
Camilla. No, never mind. Never mind.
Say it, Tom.
I was saying about Susie, but never mind.
Jenny?
Jenny.
Sorry, not-
Jenny!
Oh.
She's my nemesis. I killed her.
Jenny.
I mean,
Poor
left her on the
Jenny.
island.
So
Maybe
anyhow.
I could kill her. But this game is really good. I love the story. I love the open world nature that, like I said, you can just completely ignore those and just go the captain route and just go on your personal quest. And as you do, you're leveling yourself up. You're strengthening those relationships to give you more mitigation. You're building your crew. You're managing your pirate ship. It just feels like you said, you like getting stronger and bigger. This definitely happens in it as you develop those stories and mitigate your characters. So
This is not my list because I have not played the new version. The original version had a terrible rulebook
Yeah.
and a terrible app.
Yep.
They have released a new rulebook
Yep.
and they fixed the app, apparently, what they say. So,
I've never had a problem with it. Now, I did wait when the first edition came out. I waited about 6 months to play it, so I never played like the original app.
That app
I
was
already
just terrible.
played. So I've never had a problem with the app. But again, I didn't play the very first iteration, and the rule book was rough to get into.
I have it at my house and I'm going to play with the girls. I just keep, every time it's time to play, it's like it's no electronic night. I'm like, wow, Kate needs the app.
Yeah.
So, and also, if I mentioned someone took over one of the rooms in my house. So as soon as she leaves,
This is true.
Sea of Legends is back, baby. All right.
good.
My number one is a crossover. And it's obvious. It's with Camilla, not you. And that is Sleeping Gods. And I thought about this for a while, like which one, and I'm
okay.
putting the original. Although I like the new one. And the new one has some really good stories. Man, Ryan Lockett can write a good story. It's just interesting. Or Marjorie, Lockett, I don't know who's writing the story. Mallory. Did I say Marjorie? Mallory.
It was weird.
Jenny.
Sorry, Camilla.
Jenny Lockett.
Jenny Lockett. That sounds like a made up. That's like a name you find in Indiana
That's a
Jones.
We're
Hallmark
going to find
actress.
later he has a kid named Jenny or something. I'm sorry, Ryan.
But I like the stories in this. They're fun, and you keep thinking, what if I had gone back and done that? What if I I need this keyword.
I want the keyword.
And where can I get that keyword? And you have no idea. It's more of a reactionary game.
Yeah.
You go around and you find something. I'm like, oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
And they'll say the rock that looks like a skull, and you're looking at the map going, I think it's this one.
Right.
Maybe. Or maybe it's a map over. And you're like, and you have a big argument over whether this rock looks like a skull.
Yep.
And then later on you turn over, you go to the next map, and there's a clearly skull
It's a
map.
skull, yeah,
And then all the people who argue for it were like, well, actually.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and to me, it's the very spirit of adventure. So that's my number one.
And you put this over Distant Skies.
Sure, I didn't put them both on the list.
Okay.
I didn't do that with most games. Like I didn't put Forgotten Waters because I put Ether Fields on the list, and I didn't put this because I.
Freelancer.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Freelance,
wow,
Etherfields.
those two did not.
You're right. But I had other ones I thought about.
Okay, that makes sense.
Tales of Arabian Nights. I like the adventures in that. Sanctum is a kind of an adventure game.
Okay.
If it was that, I would have put Arthurian Nights, that new Arabian Nights.
Yeah, it was not-
I haven't played
It's not
Arabian
out.
Nights, so if I
you
would have
played
played it, I would have
Arthurian
liked
Nights?
it. I did.
If you would
I
have played
liked
it, you would have liked it. That's my favorite Joey
If it's
thing.
like Arthurian
If
Nights.
I would have played it, I would have liked it.
Because I
Joey
like
Evans.
Arabian Nights.
There's a lot.
Guaranteed.
I'm going to save you all trouble, okay? This list is invalid because no one mentioned whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one mentioned this. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. There, saved you some trouble.
There you go.
That's
But-
Or check out our other two lists. Maybe they're on there already. Like
and
you
Tales
guys-
to a Mage was on Boss Battlers. What?
But here's the thing, though. If you do think a game should be on this list, mention it in the comments. Then thumb up the people who do mention the game you like, and that will shoot to the top. And people will all hear about this game. There's so many in this category.
Surprisingly, yeah.
This is a really
I
hard one
agree.
to make because of that, because there are so many, and then I even
Tales
forgot
from Red
Destiny.
Dragon Inn. You didn't put that on your list.
Dungeon Crawl.
Right.
You were there.
I was there.
And that's the thing, too. Even
true.
we took dungeon crawls and boss battles out, and we were still able to make a big list. Although, like you said, Oathsworn very, very easily would be in this list because of the
Right.
great story.
agree.
And
Crossovers.
so would
Destinies.
Aeon Trespass Odyssey has a great
Right.
story.
I agree.
Unbelievably good story.
I agree.
So there's a lot of games. There's a lot of crossover between all this. And yes, as someone mentioned in comments, Dungeons & Dragons, that's all the game is.
You're right.
Yeah, that would have been.
They very much could have
I
been.
agree.
But if we did that, then we're doing all RPGs. Our list would just be 10 RPGs.
Yeah. At some point, you have to make some cuts. And lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we'll be back later on today doing crowd surfing, talking about some stuff on Kickstarter,
lot of
GameFound,
stuff.
and back at some good games too.
Big list. Yeah.
So we'll see you then. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel,
I'm Camilla.
I'm Joy Evans.
and we're off on an adventure.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.